Well, it's after the election, and I was just reading some of Justin Trudeau's ideas on reconciliation, and I was thinking that absolutely none of the candidates, including my favorite, the person that I voted for, really touched on the opioid crisis and the downtown east side or neighborhoods like ours. Not too many are like ours. Across this country. And I was thinking that the majority of the people that have died and that are still suffering from opioid addiction and whatnot are Aboriginal. And most people that use because they have deep-rooted trauma that they don't want to have to deal with, but they are. Well, I guess they're not dealing with it, and that's why they use, is to numb that pain. And I don't know how deep people's pain goes. I know how deep mine goes or went. But it all stems from intergenerational trauma from residential schools. People from normal backgrounds don't wake up and want to use. Maybe sometimes recreationally because they're stupid, like, things that kids do what they do. But I really think that when you're in pain, like for myself, I don't do the same drugs anymore. I don't use as much as anymore, but I still do. I suffer from a lot of depression still. And so sometimes things get painful, and so I do what I do. I admit to it because the only way to get people to understand is to tell your story and to tell it with love. And so I'm not speaking like I'm judging anybody or whatever. I'm just trying to get a point across. And so really, if reconciliation matters, then you have to understand that a lot of the people suffering from addiction are still suffering from intergenerational trauma. I am a repercussion of that, of the residential school. I come from, I'm Haida. My grandmother was full-blooded. She was an amazing woman. She was full of love, and she was strong, and she was brave, and she was a warrior. And I could only hope to be half the woman she was. But in her younger years, she was a victim of residential school, married a very violent man, and ultimately her kids became stuck in that same cycle, and that cycle was passed on to myself and my brothers and sisters, mostly the older generation, like my brothers and me. I'm fortunate enough to know that I don't have to be a victim anymore. I know that I was, and I know that sometimes the things still hurt, but I don't have to live in the past. But not everybody is fortunate enough. Not everybody has that because they haven't had anybody show them the way or give them love or acceptance. And that's sad. And I think that reconciliation should also have to do with helping us with a safe supply. I know that people are like, oh, whatever, and decriminalization doesn't mean make all drugs legal or make drugs legal, It means decriminalizing people that are already hurting and they're using. Because if I didn't find drugs when I did, I'd be dead now. And thank God I found them, because I think my life matters now and it means something, and I want to help now. So if it wasn't for finding drugs, I couldn't have survived what I was going through at the time. Now, I don't consider myself to suffer with addiction. I'm a drug user, not an addict. Calling myself an addict makes people think that I have problems, which, I'm sure I do, but none that are visible to the outside world. I don't rob, cheat, or steal. And I don't think I should be looked at like I am worthless. And when I used to hate this neighborhood too, because I started out here in a really rough way, and it was a scary place for me. But as I got older, and now that I've been back quite a few years, I watch and I love these people. If you got to know them, you'll see past what society has told you about people who use drugs, and that they're all criminals, they're all heartless, they should all be dead because they choose to do whatever. It's our body, it's our fucking choice, first off. Second, if you could just see past that societal, I want to call it brainwashing almost, but I'll just say bullshit, where we're misrepresented. You could see past all that. You'd come down, you'd see the artists and everybody, the musicians, the beautiful voices that sing on the corners down here, the willingness to help other people. You could come down here and be from the suburbs, get stuck and be hungry or something, and our people will give you the shirt off their backs, try to find you something to eat. These people are kind because they have been treated without kindness. Isn't that sad? Anyway, my point being is that I think part of reconciliation should be coming, maybe come down here, Mr. Justin Trudeau, if you ever see this. Spend a few weeks here in an SRO dealing with these people and see what happens. Or send somebody that, undercover or something. You'll see. It's not all bad. Some of it is. But 20 years ago, when people felt like it was dangerous to come down here, it wasn't so bad. Today, while people are building shops and things around here that we can't afford to shop in, and kicking us out of the doorways and whatnot in our neighborhood, today they're feeling safe, and it's not anymore. People are angry here, and the more people that are dying, the more violence that is rising. That's the only way I can see this, see things getting better, is if there's a safe supply and if there's decriminalization, which means safe for people. People can't get clean if they're dead. People can't seek out treatment if they're dead. People can't get counseling if they're dead. So the first thing we have to do is keep these people alive, because as long as there's a breath in us, there's hope for a better future. There's hope for a new tomorrow. There's hope. Right now, we've been abandoned by our country and our city, and we've been left hopeless. Nobody should be left hopeless. Nobody should lose so many people. I've lost too many people I love to the war on drugs in a whole, but a lot in the last few years to fentanyl. I don't wish this on anybody. And for as much as everybody wants to hate us, we think you're beautiful. And we would like just a small little bit of acceptance down here, just a little bit, just a little help, so that people aren't dying. A lot of the candidates wanted to talk about treatment. They wanted to talk about mental health, and mental health is, yes, that's all fine and good. We could use some more detox beds. We can use some more treatment beds. We can use more counseling, what have you. But none of that matters unless people are alive to take all to do all that, to want to do all that. And people have to live long enough to see their self-worth, because there's so much shame around drug use, and the people that use them don't want to come out of the shadows, and they're dying in the shadows, which is why we need to make it safe for them to come out of them. And if people are worried about the eyesore, leave the safe injection sites open longer. Pay proper wages for the peers that are working the front lines and working in those places. They do hard work, and it's not easy. I've given Narcan out to a few people now, and I completely panic because I get so scared that somebody's going to die, and I'm trying to help. I panic. I really have a hard time with it, so I always have to have somebody with me. I always have a Narcan kit, but they're always, I've used it myself, but it scares me. Not because of any other reason, except I'm afraid to do it wrong, and I don't want to hurt anybody, and it's just a scary thing to have to see. If we had safe injection sites that were open longer, wages were paid fairer. And some of the things, people keep telling us what they think we need. We're telling you what we need, and we're still being ignored. When you can buy a pipeline, and you can give corporate breaks, and you can send money in foreign aid to other countries, but you can't help the people in your own country that are dying by the thousands, there's something wrong. It's sad. We should have clean drinking water, and we should have people. We should have a safe supply there. Those things should matter. Anyways, that's my thought on the opioid crisis and Justin Trudeau and reconciliation. I think he should look at the opioid crisis as part of reconciliation and helping, because the majority of people that are dying are Aboriginal. And I'm sick of seeing my friends die and the people that I love the most. So, all right, everyone, downtown East Side, you are loved, you are beautiful, you are worth it, and you are strong. And together in our little neighborhood, we can unite and we can stand against some of this stuff that we're being faced with. And we'll be okay. All right, so this is Angel Gates, downtown East Side, fighting for our lives. Just a moment of thought. And my views are my views alone. Nobody has to share those views. I just sometimes really have the need to speak my mind. And so, all right. And remember to use the safe injection sites. Don't use alone, and test your dope before you use it. Peace out.